All right, so now we're going to work on the rhomboids. You want to do, you want to make sure that the scapula is kind of moving a little bit when you're working on stuff. This is stuff that I add to my regular massage. It does not take that long to add a few seconds or a few minutes of this into somebody. If you have somebody that is dealing with a lot of upper back pain, shoulder pain, when we flip him over, I'll show you some stuff to do if you have somebody that rolls their shoulders forward. Pay attention to your shoulders. A little stretch to do as well. I'm trying to think which side I'm gonna do. Okay. I'll try to work mainly on this other side so y'all can see. But when I'm working, I have already worked for about 10-15 minutes before I start getting into the area and start worrying about the deeper muscles under the traps, more of the levator, the rhomboids, the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and then I'm going to start attacking the teres and the lats. Now this is the side that is normally very tender for somebody in this lateral side of the scapula. So you have to go slow. You need to go not full-fledged of your pressure yet. You need to kind of ease into it. And on a lot of times you can pull their arm down like that, just so it opens up more of the, you have better access into the subscapularis as well. And because it is a kind of a tender area, I try not to do a lot of thumbs or finger pointing, just because I want to try to use a lot of open palm, a little bit of my forearms to get into that area. Okay. Sorry, you have to get over here. Come around here a little bit. Now when I'm trying to get down into the subscapularis part of the scapula, I'm going to just go along the border, and I'm trying to get my thumb underneath the scapula. Let me know if it gets too much.
Never.
Okay. And a lot of times, like right now, I'm on one of the teres. I think I'm on you will feel it. Sometimes it's kind of hard to, differentiate between the two, the teres minor and major, but after you work on them a little bit, they'll separate a little bit. And I will pull my hand up underneath his shoulder, the anterior part of his shoulder. And I'm going to lift up. And when I do, that lifts his scapula to where I can maneuver it and I can move it. And when I do that, I can also get my thumb opposite that I'm working on. I can get it up underneath there and get some of the attachments off of it. You can also get the posterior deltoids on the back side of the arm as well, so don't forget to grab that. You want to get all the parts, the sections of it. And don't just stay on, like if you, just because that section right there was tight and it was a rope, so I could feel it. I'm not gonna stay on it for a long period of time because I don't want to make them sore. I wanna work it, but I don't wanna, just sit there and camp out on it. So I'm gonna work it, then I'm gonna come off of it, work something else, and then come back to it in a little bit later. I'm also gonna get on that when he is supine as well. So that's what we're about to do, so he can get the other side of it. And you also want to get up here, you want to be able to get into the rhomboids. You can cross fiber the rhomboids, you can put your forearm in them. And when you're doing, anytime you're coming over this, you got to be aware of your bony landmarks, so your forearm is not going over that. Then you just want to slow down. Let the pace get really creepy crawly. Drop your weight through your forearm so you can get some pressure through it. And you can do some myofascial release on it. If there's any trigger points, you can have some advantage of getting some of those broke loose as well. Okay, so then let's get him flipped over. All right. So after I have worked, again, the neck, then I'm gonna come into going down into getting into the shoulder area. This is what I was talking about. If you have somebody that is dealing with frozen shoulder, tight shoulder from an injury, or just does not have the posture, they want to try to correct their posture with their shoulders. I take my palms of my hand, I'm placing them in front of the shoulders. I'm going to do on top of it. And I'm going to press down and then come off and press down and let my hands slide down. And as I'm coming back, I am aiming at getting the shoulders to roll backwards. And another version of to get the pecs is putting your hand, your palm, so it's right below the clavicle. I am pushing down and then just letting my hands slide off slowly. If your client can do that, you either may have to kind of hold it, maybe get a pillow to brace it. But this is where the part I told you about a while ago, where you can go through the front and you're going to try to work into the subscapularis. By doing that, I've positioned the scapula off to the side, and I'm just going to kind of reach underneath there, in there, and I'm grasping it, and then just letting my thumbs roll back and forth on top of the subscapularis. You have to be careful if somebody is very ticklish.
And what about women?
You
And
can,
draping
you
and-
can, yeah, you can drape it, you can tuck it. You can have them, if you need to, hold that side of the sheet if you need to, but you can definitely tuck and get it underneath there. There is a stretch that you can do. So if you have their arm like you normally would, pulling it back to do the biceps and tricep, get like right in the crease of their arm. And this is where you're gonna get on like the attachment sites of the teres and the lats. And you're just pushing down. You can do just open palm. And as I'm working that, I am dropping the arm down so it kind of stretches a little bit. So it's kind of doing a pin and stretch motion for that. And now, a pin and stretch motion for the pecs is you're going to hold their elbow with your hand. I'm gonna take my knuckles and put it along the border of the clavicle. I'm gonna press down, and then I'm gonna drop the arm down. And the whole time they're doing this, I'm making sure they're taking breaths and stuff, not holding their breath. So you're not gonna do it to where they're in so much pain that they can't breathe. I'm gonna watch his first breath, push it in, and drop it. Pull it up and let up, and then adjust your point of contact. If you had somebody that is dealing with a frozen shoulder, you can, because a lot of times when they do that, they have a lot of limited and internal and external rotation. I will use my hand, my palm on top of it and mash down and just do the motion of internal rotation. You can do it as well external.